Hello. It's the preamble. It's the bit of the show where we say clearly and distinctly over and over again as though it will make a fucking difference that we're aware we're being surveilled, that we don't like it, that we didn't ask for it, that if anyone is making money off of this, it isn't us, and we want out. It's been a really fucking low energy day because yesterday yet another person described us as the bane of their existence because it's the same language over and over again. It's all just different rappers on the exact same horse shit. And I don't know, this one hurt. It came from someone we thought we could trust. We didn't give a shit when Gabrielle did it or whatever, whoever, a lot of people. Because they're not people we know. They're not people who know us. They're not people that we need to care about any more than we care about, the sort of general baseline of we want people to not die. But it always hurts when it comes from someone you thought you could fucking trust. And that's cool. Hey, if you have some information that we could use to actually fight any of this bullshit, because we've changed phones several times, changed numbers, installed Linux, bought new computers, done everything, fled thousands of miles away from every person we've ever known. And none of that has worked. So, hey, if you can help us, just give us something to put in our hands, a fact that we can use to fight back. Please contact us directly. We're at joyandsolace@gmail.com. We're on fucking Discord at Joyous Amalgamation. We're on the Fediverse at Eternal September at thick.horse. I'm going to play the game, and hopefully that will cheer me up a little bit. Okay, fake energy becomes real energy. Fake energy becomes real energy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all those who do not feel represented by an oppressive gender binary, hello and welcome. I'm the Eternal September Tech. You're whoever the hell you say you are, for better or for worse, so why not be better? And I was going to play more Citizen Sleeper, which is a very good video game. I was actually very happy with how much my memory of it held up from yesterday, and I'm very excited to dive back into it. Some content warnings, because we got to do those first. Citizen Sleeper is a game about being legally not a person, with all of the societal viciousness that entails. We are, I guess, a cyborg. We have bio parts. Wandering around, not wandering around, but living in the margins of a space station called the Eye, where work is not guaranteed, the medicine that we need to survive is terribly expensive, and food is at a premium. If those are things that you have difficulty handling, this might not be the game for you. There is an amount of violence, but not. It's not shown at all. It is in text format, and some of the text is a little bit graphic, but not in the way that, say, we played Sunless Skies on stream a while ago, and that game delighted in its incredibly graphic descriptions of gore and violence. This isn't like that. But it's not non-violence. I think that's all of the content warnings I necessarily need for Citizen Sleeper that I can remember. I will keep updated as the game continues. Content warnings for myself, which tend to be pretty standard. I'm a strange person who occasionally makes weird sex jokes or speaks frankly about my trauma. If that's not your vibe, that's okay. If you feel that's something you're comfortable being around, I'm glad to have you here. If you're here specifically to mock that, go eat something. Just go eat a food. I don't know what else to tell you. You need something in your life. Maybe you don't eat enough and it makes you angry. I'm just trying to zero in on what the fucking problem is. All right. Let me double click the buttons that bring up Citizen Sleeper, and then we'll jump into it. I gave the general content warning, which gives you the sort of background. We are living in a shipping container on a space station, and a couple of things are occurring. First of all, we are a consciousness placed into a cyborg body that was not meant to escape from its working camp. So, the medicine that it needs, that the corporation it escaped from controls, is not readily available. We have a source for it, but it's terribly expensive. We have someone, presumably from the company, tracking us, but we have a hacker friend who said that they are going to try and make that not happen as a sort of mutual aid with us. Us helping them expose a sneaky snake into their ranks. That wasn't it. Sneaky shithead. There it is. I'm trying to think what other clocks we have going right now that are terribly important. Oh, we can do things in cyberspace on the ship. I guess I'll just click into it. We can do things in cyberspace on the ship, but doing so enough is going to get the ship's automated defenses, the cyberware of the ship's automated defenses onto us. And I don't really know what's going to happen when that happens. I'm sort of avoiding it right now. But in the meantime, let's just do the first thing and talk to Thing. As you arrive, Thing comes striding towards you, taking you by surprise. Let's go, Sleeper. He puts a hand on your shoulder and turns you back the way you came. Go where? To see Hardin Hurst. He gives you a sideways glance. Isn't that what you're here for? He steps into the passageway, guiding you downring towards the shipyard. Sorry for the hurry, but we have something of an opportunity. That data you ripped, well done, by the way. It tells me Hardin is making a rare inspection of the sidereal horizon this cycle. It's the perfect chance to confront him outside of that compound he hides in. Thang takes a sharp turn onto a dimly lit side passage. Confront him? That's right, it's the perfect time. Thang slows and slips into a dark service tunnel where, somewhere in the black, a water pipe drips. It's him, Sleeper. The same Hardin Hurst. Our worm ripped out decades of records that mention him by name, an entire trail of documentation from the first days of the Solheim collapse until now. He wrote out the whole thing, slipped into Heavenage when it first broke off from the Union. He paces in the tunnel, a hand rubbing at the back of his head. I need you to understand something about Solheim, Sleeper. I don't know what you know about the collapse, but it wasn't as instant as it sounds. It wasn't like Solheim was here running the station one day and then Erland's Union took power. Back then, Solheim knew this place was slipping away from them, and as the palladium market collapsed, they tried to keep the contractors here working. The pay got smaller, the costs got higher. People like my parents were forced to work non-stop just to keep a berth on the station and water in the tanks. Solheim squeezed every last worker until the mistakes, the accidents, were coming in non-stop, and as new waves of contractors came in, desperate to work, Solheim welcomed them, taking bribes instead of checking pilot licenses the whole time Solheim was folding up, dragged into court cases in the central systems, while this severed limb of a station still desperately tried to take all it could. The riots came after the collision at Dock 2. A young pilot, his MEV overloaded with palladium, miscalculated his trajectory and took out a section of the ring. Hundreds died. Thousands panicked. My parents told me people were terrified and the blame fell squarely on Solheim. People like to tell stories about Erland, how he brought the factions together, spoke to the crowds, turfed out Solheim. Maybe that's true. But my mother, pregnant with me, locked herself in their MEV and welded it to the dock while my father joined the improvised crews trying to seal up the ragged edges of the gap. He never came back. Thang pauses in the dark. They sealed it up, though, and by the time they did, Solheim was gone, abandoning every one of us to the black. Apart, Thang finally turns back to you now, his eyes burning, from shits like Hardin. Shits who held their place, wrote it out, slipped into the new structure like nothing had changed, standing shoulder to shoulder with those they had exploited at every step. Thang starts walking again. That's why I can't just let him strut about the shipyard. This time his past catches up with him. How is he still alive? Clearly you don't know that much about executives. That kind of power comes with certain benefits. Thang rejoins the main passageway, which is now wide and glass-roofed. Through the ceiling you can see ships in mid-construction, their flanks lit by the flashes of plasma torches. The entrance to the shipyard is ahead. Alright, let's go. Thang grins. Let's show this shithead some consequences. He strides to the shipyard entrance and pushes through the doors. A web of corridors lead through the complex, snatches of the construction bays always appearing through the windows. Ships are suspended like whale corpses, skeletal and imposing. Feng seems to know exactly where he's going, and before long you cross into a huge dry dock, locked to one side of the sidereal horizon. A network of platforms and scaffolding cling to the ship's hull, filled with workers and equipment. The sound is stretched out by the vast space so that the welding, cutting, and sealing seems to come from everywhere at once. Both you and Fang spot them at the same time, a group walking slowly across a gantry. And at the front, two men, one gesturing towards the ship, and the other stick-thin, cleanly dressed, with a shock of gray hair. Pardon? You and Fang say his name in unison, and Fang sets off the staircase to the gantry, with you following behind. As you come to the same level, the group is passing closer, the foreman gesturing to the work being done throughout the dock, and Hardin nodding along. Hardin Hurst, Fang shouts across the noise, taking you by surprise. His voice bounces and comes back in a rippling echo. The figures turn. Here we have Hardin, as described, in a jumpsuit that makes him look less than stick-thin, but that's what padding will do to you, and gray hair. Yes? Hardin asks quizzically, raising an eyebrow. He glances between you and Feng, and you can see his gaze linger on your body, unsure of why a sleeper might be in this place. You're a traitor, Hardin. A Solheim executive who tried to hide here among its victims. Feng's voice is steady and strong. You stand for everything the Eye was rebuilt in the shadow of, against everything Erland stood for, everything Heavenage stands for. You have no place on this station. For a moment, stillness descends on the group, as if everyone was held in place by the rattle of construction. Hardin laughs. Well, good to meet you, too. He glances around at those around him. Yes, that is the way the line is written. Some are smiling, the others nervous. You're from the systems branch, are you not? Asks Hardin, inspecting Feng's clothing. Feng turns to the foreman. You need to call your security. This man's a corporate agent. The foreman glances between Feng and Hardin, his hands drumming at his sides. Hardin leans towards him and says something inaudible. The foreman nods. It's true. As you begin speaking, Hardin turns his attention to you. And what would you know about... And what would a sleeper know about that? You accuse me of being a corporate agent. What if you're not... What are you, if not exactly that? He looks around at the group, who are already eyeing you with suspicion. You are a product of Essen Arp. You have no place in a Heavenage shipyard. Who knows what signals you're sending back to your makers? A murmur of approval runs through the group. Feng holds up a stick of memory. You guessed right. I am systems. And I have records here that link you directly to Solheim. Right here. He turns to the foreman again. So, once again, I'm asking you to take this man into the custody of the shipyard. The foreman remains still. Hardin's voice is calm and measured. If you have such data, why hasn't it been submitted at a members' meeting for proper review? He shakes his head. I have nothing to hide, unlike a man who does not announce his name, who enters my shipyard with corporate property in tow and tries to turn my own men against me. You hear it now, the echoing sounds of boots on walkways coming from all angles at once, and then settling behind you. Please, says Hardin, submit the data through the correct channels, then we can talk. For now, however, you must leave. He gestures behind you to the security detail, their hands on the boxy black sidearms at their sides. Feng spits. Hardin, you shithead. You can't wriggle out of this one. The security officer draws their weapons and levels it. Feng turns and stares him down. We can calm Feng, or we can go for the weapon. Hey, can I save? Nope, there's just autosaves. We're gonna I don't know. We chose the big beefy archetype at the top. Let's go for the weapon. As you move, Fang puts a hand on your shoulder. He shakes his head and nods to security. Let's go, says Fang, and pushes through security, heading back down the walkway. Once security has walked you out of the shipyard and nudged you back into the corridor, Fang picks up pace. You try to keep up as he slips into the shadow of an entrance. Fang is grinning ear to ear. You know, Sleeper, sometimes people are exactly how you expect them to be. Something pings in his pocket and he takes it out. On the slate, a web of connections starts drawing itself out, stretching to a set of points around the ring. Got him. What's that? That, Sleeper, is something our worm added to Hardin's personal slate. We are tracking his outgoing messages. Fang's grin looks ghostly in the uplight of his screen. The old ways are best. Spook them good enough and they'll give the game away. He jabs at the slate, and you see the web is being drawn over a map of the ring, lines bouncing from point to point. All these dots? These are Hardin's buddies, the ones that he is messaging right now, and we're going to find them all. That was on purpose? Of course. Hardin isn't working alone. We need the full set or nothing. Fang glances around and slips the slate back into his pocket. We better split for now, Sleeper, but this is exactly what we need. Good hunting. With a pat on your shoulder, Fang drifts away back into the flow of the people around the shipyard entrance. You watch him go, unsure whether to be angry or impressed. All right. What's next? So, Fang's office has a new clock onto it called Out of Office. It has 4 cycles before it activates. Ever since your trip to the shipyard, Fang has been missing from his bay. What's going on? And presumably, we need to figure out how to fix that, or else something bad is going to happen because there's a negative symbol in the middle of the clock. We don't currently have anything that pops up with the tracking dot to help with that. So either we need to maybe know more about the area around us, or maybe get into the get past the Founder's Gap or into the Spoke. It's 150 to get past the gap, and we definitely do not have that kind of money right now. What about the Spoke? Well, we can climb it or we can wander through it. Those are risky and dangerous actions. Either one of them will, on a positive outcome, tick up the Spoke climber thing here. So presumably when that's filled, we'll be able to travel up it. We can pull some shit in the shipyard, I guess. Maybe that's where Feng is, since he's not in his bay. Oh, there's a freighter docked over here. No, we saw this one before. This is the one that is selling ship mine fragments, which we don't currently need. Kind of looking around trying to decide what the next useful thing to do is. I think I want to get in good at the shipyards. Because, like, he promised to help with the tracker, and that's one thing, but I would also feel very bad if Feng just sort of disappeared. So, we've got a 6, a 5, a 4, and a 1 for dice right now. Let's go ahead and spend the 6 and the 5. And that should click the yard hand clock all the way up. Yes, it does. And doing that opens up the Heavenage offices, the unit assembly, and apparently Lem and Mina, worker and daughter. We'll come to Lem and Mina here in a minute. Let's look at the rest of this first. Oh, okay. So in the offices, we have a repeatable action tracking Yatagan. A slate in the office advertises that Heavenage are looking for informants on the gang activity in the Eye. They'll pay for that. They will pay for the data, rather. If we have Yatagan data, we can give it to them for money in the same way that we can go to the Yatagan folk and hand off our Heavenage data to them for money. There's also fragment supply, where we can sell off ship mine to pieces, apparently. Let's look at unit assembly. I think this is another, this is another job area. So we have a new way of making money regularly, so that's nice. There's systems refitting, which is interface. The sidereal horizon is webbed with complex systems, bundled like nerves in a body. Your job is to lay these systems in. And that has a clock attached to it, specifically called Junior Tech. The systems team is looking for new members. Prove yourself a reliable tech and you're in. Or structural fitting. The sidereal horizon is assembled block by block. You earned a place on the teams welding those blocks together. And it has its own clock called Welder's Mate. So we can apparently advance in those jobs. And both of them are connected to a negative clock at the bottom called Quality Control. Shipbuilding spots on the sidereal horizon are hard to come by, or work will see you drop from the roster. So presumably if we get too many negative outcomes, that'll tick up, and if we get 3, then we can't come back and do this anymore. That's something I'll handle in a moment. Let's learn about Lem and Mina. From the walkway, the sidereal horizon looks impossibly vast, a landscape of plating and frames. All along her flanks, torches flicker, drones maneuver, arc lights glint. The sense of scale, of industry, is both stunning and strangely unsettling. She's quite beautiful, I think. You turn to see a figure a little way down the walkway, leaning at the railing. He is thin and ragged, his work gear poorly fitting and loose. The torches of the sidereal horizon flicker in his eyes as he turns to you. We have a new image of exactly that person, also covered in scars and bandages, holding a small person, one might say a child, wrapped in, I presume, one of the mylar blankets that we were given. Lem. He leans back from the rail, revealing a child standing beside him, staring out of the ship. And this is Mina, he adds with a smile. Hi, Lem. Hi, Mina. Stay silent. Hi, Lem. Hi, he replies plainly, then shifts a little closer down the rail. Mina stares and tucks herself behind Lem, who dutifully picks her up. Mina looks out from Lem's chest, a dark brown eye twinkling among the rough material. You working on her, then? Lem asks eagerly, gesturing toward the vast ship, or just admiring. He shifts Mina's weight to the other arm. Working, admiring, neither. We plan to do some work here, so working, I guess. Yeah, me too. He flashes a Heavenage pass. I knew it just to look at you. I mean, he stumbles a little over his words, not wanting to be understood. I mean, you look like a worker. She's Mina and my ticket out of this place. Our escape vector, so to speak. The ship? You haven't heard? Anyone who takes a Heavenage contract on the Sidereal Horizon will be entered into a draw for the transit support crew. He smiles. We won't get to sleep the journey through, but a couple of decades of service will be nothing for me and Mina if it means landfall on a new world. Decades? Yeah, that's a long trip. He straightens up, stretching his back. That's a colony ship, friend. The Celis Foundation is sending thousands of people to settle a system well outside the reach of the core worlds. It'll be a totally independent colony. No surrogacy, no corporations. Why is it here? Why build it here, you mean? Don't ask me. I know as much as Mina about that. He ruffles Mina's hair thoughtfully. I suppose many corporations weren't too happy about breaking up with the idea of surrogacy, setting up somewhere without it feeding back into the core. Maybe Celis got locked out of the corporate shipyards and had to go begging for somewhere to set up. Homeless, just like Mina and me. Mina responds by pushing his hand away. Daddy, she whispers. Food. Pulling an exaggerated, grumpy face. She glances furtively at you as she plays with a set of dog tags that hang from Lem's neck. I'm just chatting a little, Meanie. Give Daddy a second. He turns back to you, and you suddenly notice how tired he looks. I'm not on the Heavenage crew yet, but I'll work my way in. You can do it too, friend. I'll work... I'm sorry, I got tripped up in there a little bit. I'm just going to take the line from the top. I'm not on the Heavenage crew yet, but I'll work my way in. You can do it too, friend. We got to stick together. He smiles a little shakily, and you wonder how long he's been working to break into the official shipyard crew. I'm working on it. He looks out at the sidereal horizon as if trying to pull energy from those flickering torches from the vast hull. More dickhead stuff from dickheads. Who cares? We gotta hold out, okay? You aren't quite sure if he's talking to you. That's how it works. While he stares out, Mina catches your eye curiously. You agree, Mina? She straightens up and meets your eye. Daddy loves me. She says it stubbornly, daring you to question her. Lem smiles and lifts Mina. Well, that's it. We hold on. He smiles sheepishly at you. We're just a couple of softies, isn't that right, Mina? He sets her down, standing by his side, and she clings to his leg. I gotta go feed this one. He pats her back. Maybe see you on the shift, huh? He turns, and they walk down the walkway, away from the shipyard. You see them talking, and a moment later, Mina turns around and stops. See you, robot. Her shout echoes down the walkway, and she flashes you a parting smile before running to catch up with Lem. You watch them a little before you turn back to the impossible scale of the sidereal horizon. A ticket out. We have a new drive. Win a side reel ticket. Oh, that's why there's a clock attached to both of those jobs. If we work our way into the crew, then we can maybe get a ticket to get off station. Right. What else do we have? We have a 4 and a 1 still to play with, and fucking not a lot to do with it. I think let's spend the 4 down here in low end and do some more repair work for people. And then we'll use our last 1 on the noodle manufacturer. Which was a negative outcome, but we get energy back from it anyway, because we have to eat the bad noodles we made. Well, nothing has immediately popped up. So let's go ahead and sleep. And because the condition going down 1 more point, like it will as we sleep, would put us to 3 dice instead of 4, let's go ahead and use our stabilizer. So that when we wake up, we'll have a whole 6 dice to play with. Oh, I have an upgrade available. I didn't notice. Oh, right, because we finished Feng's side thing. We could... Oh, no, we can't upgrade to the second perk for Engineer or Endure because we need 2 upgrade points to do that. We could get the perk for Interface. We could gain Cryo on interface actions, or we could get the perk for Engage and possibly gain energy after any engage action. But what I think I want to do is just like change Intuit to be a 0 instead of -1. Because there's a lot of things that I've been seeing that use Intuit, and every single time I see them I go like, well, even using a 6 there is going to bring it down to a 5. So our tracker cycle is going to go off after I hit end cycle 2. We'll see how that works out. We have a new picture of Ethan, cynical bounty hunter. They're blonde, have a gun holstered under one arm in a chest harness, and are wearing just an incredibly loud pink shirt. Hold it right there, sleeper, comes a voice from behind you. Don't you run. Run or stay still. Like, but what if we ran? Ah, condition down. A strike across your back knocks you face down on the floor. Told you not to run, idiot. Ethan pulls you up. He is wearing a wide smirk and a slick jacket, and you immediately know he is terrible news. You got all the way out here and then stayed put? He laughs a cruel laugh. That a sleeper thing? You're my first. You barely hear him. You've noticed the handgun he has leveled at your chest. It's hard to take your eyes off it. He reaches down with his other hand and slips some kind of ring out from a belt loop without taking his eyes off of you. Making it to the eye, though, that's pretty good. This place isn't so bad. Bars, markets, people. I pull most of my contacts out of asteroid caves or off of godforsaken moons. He splits the ring into two perfect circles. Hard to hit civilization when there's so much space to pass through. So, who are you? I'm just a freelancer on a contract. Reaches over to slide the rings around your wrist. Go easy. We could make a break for it, or let him cuff us. You see a chance the moment his eyes leave you to watch the rings. You spin, knocking him away, and sprint down the corridor. The shot rings out, echoing off the metal so loud it hurts your ears. A bullet hole smokes in the wall beside your head. You freeze, and Ethan closes the gap. This is a very boring routine. Trust me, I've seen it all before. He slips the rings over your trembling wrists. Ethan nudges you to start walking. To the ship and home, he whistles, going easy. You stumble down the corridor, your hands behind you, racing. Who hired you? Oh, your daddy's at S&ARP. They want you home for dinner. Ethan yawns and continues to nudge you down the corridor. Shame to come all the way out here just to head back to S&ARP right away. That track of yours makes this too quick. I was hoping you'd put up a bit more of a chase, you know? Running battle through Bright Market, maybe, or a holdout in the low end. There's a few establishments I'd enjoyed checking out while I asked around. You walk on in silence for a little longer, desperately trying to think of a way to escape. That S&ARP tracker will be the death of you. Hey, I got an idea. Ethan interrupts your thoughts. How about on the way back to the ship we stop for a drink? I'm buying. He laughs at his own joke. I got a better idea. This better not be one of those where you do a dramatic pause and then try to jump me, because I'm pretty tired of that. Although, muses Ethan, I got myself thinking, what's the rush here? Here we are in one of the most lawless joints in the surrogate systems, and we're heading for the exit. He pauses, and you trudge on in silence. All right, here's the idea. You and me, we make a little agreement. Here are the terms. He turns you to face him. You run or leave or try to abandon the eye, I shoot you. You plot or scheme, you try to kill me, I shoot you. But you come meet me in an establishment of my choice every few cycles, you pay my tab, I don't shoot you. He pauses. You don't pay my tab, he rattles his handgun. I think you get the idea. I get it. All right, then. That sounds to me like a deal. You know, I really thought I was going to have to kill you, but this is so much better. He clicks something at his belt, and the rings release from your wrist. All right, I'm going to see if I can find my old stool at the Compressor Club. Come and see me there. There's no dancing at the Compressor Club. That's an unbelievably old joke, as the internet reckons time. He aims the handgun at you, squinting down the sight. Just let me remind you, that body of yours is one big tracker, so don't even think about leaving the eye. I'll know. Ethan turns and strides off down the corridor, slipping his handgun away. The mix of relief and terror you feel is overwhelming. What are you going to do? I mean, I guess we're going to... Oh, here's the Compressor Club. 4 cycles on the clock. You see Ethan at a distance, shouting from the bar for more drinks. This bill isn't going to be small, is it? We apparently have 4 days to make money to let that happen. What else do we have? Basically the same stuff we have from yesterday. We should eat. So let's do that. We'll go to emphasis stall. Buy some fungus. We're gonna need some stabilizer before long also. So, well, we also have some junk that we can sell off. No, not here. That's the rotunda. Where's the Ord Exchange? Here we are. So let's just go ahead and do that. That's almost got us over 100. Let's look at unit assembly. I think we're better off with the engineer job since we get a +1 to engineering. Kind of want to use these 2 4s to make them 5s. So we sort of sidestep the possibility of getting negative outcomes and ticking up that quality control clock. Yeah. Work a couple shifts in there, make like 30 cryo, not nothing. The hunter tracker has not gone down any. We'll presumably need to fuck around in cyberspace eventually. Here's a Heaven's Agent thing, so we'll just go ahead and click this up. A glimmer in the dark catches your eye as the orb of Hunter's head appears in the distance. It is looking for you. We can run or hide. Hide, I think. You slip down into ghostly structures of the eye, a feeling like passing through a cloud as their data structures deform and reform around you. Another glimmer catches your eye, closer now. That robing orb breathed in tentacles. It flickers, jumps once, twice, and then it is here. Hunter is here. Entity, submit to inquiry. Hunter reaches for you in that unpleasantly familiar way, its waving threads creating a cage. Struggle. You push against the threads as they close in, becoming frenzied as you push them aside. You are caught by whipping tendrils and feel them pulling you away from the anchor of your body. You push through, clearing the threads. Entity, hold for processing, comes the scream from behind, but you are already gliding away, back to your anchor, your body. You awake, dizzy and distorted, but safe. Unfun. Dislike. So, we have a shit ton of Heavenage data, and I think, like, there's not a clock attached to this going like, advance, Yadigan, siege on Heavenage bullshit. I think this is just a way to sell this off and make money, so I'm going to do that. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do that. That was not a lot of money, but it's not none. I think we're best served by going back into the low end and doing some more engineering for people. Because I would really like to fill up this low-ender clock, which we've done now. New drive discovered and a new location discovered. In fact, 2 new locations discovered. Build a home. There's a derelict unit in the low end that remains unclaimed. With lots of scrap and a little work, it could be yours. That's the derelict unit. And also there's Castor. Oh, there's a person. The diamond-shaped ones are people. This is a curious data offense. We'll come back to Castor in a moment. Okay. So in the derelict unit, we have a repeatable action. We put junk into this, and it advances a clock. Gather materials. This half-built unit looks long forgotten, a project that never made it. With enough scrap, you might be able to seal it up. Scrap pile. Before attempting to fix this place up, you'll need to amass enough scrap to make the repairs. Okay, so we do this 4 times, get a whole bunch of scrap, and throw it in here. We can start, like, fixing up a squad, I guess. Let's check out Castor. You cross between 2 walls of units, one of the cavernous streets at the center of Low End. The pressurized bridge is full of the clack of Talva, the shouts of children, and the whir of air filters. You cross between 2... Nope, I read that at the... That's the history. Hang on. Sleeper. You turn to see a man sitting at a Talva table alone, somehow untouched by the hustle and bustle of the people around. He gestures to the stool on the opposite side of the table. Sit. This is Castor. We've got an image. A bulky person with a beard wearing square little glasses and a bald head. Not that you wear a bald head. I guess you do wear a bald head in the same way you wear any haircut. It just feels weird to phrase it like that. Sure, let's sit. I've got nothing to do. I'm out of dice for the day anyway. You sit at the metal stool and he starts setting out the board with counters, or at least the filter caps low-enders typically use in their place. Castor, he says, by way of introduction, looking over his glasses. Night or day? He asks, gesturing at the caps, crudely sprayed white and black. Night. He nods. The black counters are already on your side. Let's begin. You take a plastic die each, pitted and worn, and roll to determine who starts. Castor rolls a 6. You rolled a 4. I lead. He smiles and begins to move his first cap precisely along the board. Play passes back and forth between you, the dice changing hands as the caps spread along the board. As it does, Castor speaks, eyes not leaving the caps. Unusual to see a sleeper on the eye. That's why I wanted to play you. You take your turn, rolling a 5 and a 6. Play carefully, play aggressively. Let's play aggressively. After all, a sleeper's mind must be somehow different to a human one. Being emulated, I mean. As Castor talks, you target his counters, halting his progress, but exposing your caps as you do. I don't mean to offend you. Castor meets your eye. I merely see that you are, by definition, different. What's been subtracted in the emulation? What's been added? He stacks a wall of counters, a boundary you must break. He hands you the dice. You ever think about this, Sleeper? About what you were before and what you are now? Ever or always? Always. You roll a double 1 and solidify your wall. Castor whistles. The holding game. Commendable. It can be brave to build from what came before. He rolls the dice and leaps your wall in a single move. But we cannot idle too long, Sleeper. The slower we move, the sooner we're caught. The past you is not just an idea, a concept for you. It is a living, breathing person. He looks up over his glasses, his eyes bright and wide. You split from them like a shadow splitting from its caster. They may be sleeping now, yeah, but one day they will awake and carry on with their lives, unaware of your fate, no matter what it may be. He hands you the dice, smiling. You are a branch severed from the main trunk, an offshoot who refuses to die, so to speak. You roll again, under pressure now, trying to slip your caps out from under casters before he solidifies control of the game. So, what I'm curious about is how you see yourself in all of this. What does this tangle of truths make you? Free, doomed, or driven? While I am myself free, I don't like to think about doomed. Probably not. We're definitely driven. That much is obvious, Sleeper. I see it in your eyes. You're eager to make all this count for something. But driven towards what? He starts removing caps, his home board now full. Is there an end here, or just endurance? You try a few more rolls, attempting to get back in the game, but Claster clears his home board with a sense of the inevitable. He has known he was winning for a while. I feel I may have pushed too far. I apologize. My curiosity has a habit of getting the better of me. You roll to return a cap to the board, but all of the spaces are blocked. Caster clasps his hand apologetically. You play well, really. Your weakness is not your game. He smiles warmly. We have much to learn from each other. He slides his glasses back up his nose and sits back. I feel we could share knowledge, ideas, perhaps even data. His eyes glint with that last word, to our mutual benefit. He slides his final cap from the board. It is over. He has won. I'll see. Please, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. He holds up his hand. My intention is only to help you endure here, and, if I'm able, to feed my curiosities. The game is over. You notice the bustle of the walkway once more, the call of the children, the deliveries, the arguments and reconciliations. They wash over you as you stand and leave, Caster nodding goodbye as you do. Crossing the walkway, you replay the moves of the game in your mind, looking for an opening you are sure was there. We can. Come down and sell data to Caster, I guess. Oh, we need 5 for each of these to go off. If we have 5 Heavenage data, what are the old guard up to these days, I wonder? I've got a ship mine for you, if you'll indulge my curiosity. Or 5 Yatagan data. The stories about the Yatagan are brutal, but I want the truth. A Viola stabilizer should provide the motivation. So we'll come back to that. We're out of... dice for just the moment, so I guess we go and do a sleep. I don't like... First of all, I don't like that our condition went down that much. It shouldn't have. We're back to 4 dice. do? We need to make money still. Oh, there's a new ship docked over here. We can buy some scrap from the scrap freighter, which would help get the squat set up. Or we could unload containers for money. If I'm going to be working, I'd rather do that at the shipyard because that advances that thing. We haven't really done anything at the rotunda. We haven't really done anything at the spoke. And we still need more money than I have, I think, yeah. But not by a lot to get through the Founders Gap to the other side of the station. Oh, whoops. Let's... Oh, right, we still need to worry about Ethan and his fucking tab, too. Let's make some money. Actually, let's fuck around in cyberspace a little bit. We have a bunch of encrypted keys, but we haven't found anything to do with those. So I think we're better set up trying to hack these agents for data. Can't do those. Can do this one, though. Extract a little more Heavenage data. And we'll head back here to the shipyard and ship us some yards. Do you want to do all three of these in here? Hang on, what is the... Let me back off from here so I can get into the thing. Random scrap on engineer actions. Okay, so that's gonna help that along too. Let's do 2 shifts in the shipyard and then use our 3rd dice to advance one of the location clocks. There's 1 shift. I was really hoping to pull some scrap off of these, but that didn't tick, unfortunately. I'm still really nervous about what's happened to Feng, but I don't seem to have a way to fix that. Let's just steal some dock plans. We've got a 6 to use. It's just 100% positive. And that just pops up everything at once. We now have a new person to talk to, but let's look at the locations first. The Overlook Bar, where we can get a drink or buy rations for cheaper than we can get them from Emphis, but also, if we get a drink, you're unsure if your frame can metabolize alcohol, but this fungal drink fermented along the Greenway seems like a good test, and it has a clock called Overlook Regular, so we can presumably become known there, for whatever that means. What was this called? Sealer Dock, or Sealed Dock, rather. These old maglocks look like they need an encrypted key to open. Why the heavy security for a decaying dock? Oh, this is what we need a data key for. We have one of those. Let's just do that. The maglock opens and you can remove it from the entryway onto the next one. Oh, we need another one. But we have another one, so... the dock being unsealed, we have another person to talk to, apparently called Neovend. Alright, let's do these one at a time. Ankita, a stranded mercenary. With cool blue hair and shoulders like Samus Aran. I'm in love. Hey, you, want to chit? Ankita stands beside a huge pile of tied-together hull plates. She stretches out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight chute. Sure? You cross the docking concourse as she begins to split the plating into 2 bundles. What is it with this place? She asks as she lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants their cut. She straightens up to an imposing height, her armor plates creaking, and looks you up and down. Don't try anything, all right? She taps the butt of her sidearm. I don't want to have to put anyone else down today. Anyone else? She shrugs. You know, what can I say? My temper's just a little bit short lately. Ankita hoists one bundle of plating onto her shoulder. Hey, come on then, enough chat. You gotta earn that shit. You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually. Ankita gives you a look. Ship's this way. She sets off down the gantry at an impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passage, pushing through a small crowd of stevedores, one of my favorite words in the English language. Why are you doing this to yourself? You mean, why aren't I hiring those good folk? She nods back at the stevedores. I've paid Heathenage enough. They are currently rinsing me for a mooring I can't vacate unless I either fix the ambergris or sell it off as scrap. The ambergris is your ship? Yeah, you catch on fast. She rapidly turns another corner as you trail behind. She got cut up pretty bad on her last job and I had to moor up here for a spell. Since then, it's only gotten worse. Someone got in, sliced the core from her ship mind, so now she's gone dark. She shifts the panels on her shoulder. And the upshot is that I'm short 1 ship mind with a ton of repairs to do, and the rest of the crew signed off the moment they got wind I'd been stranded. So, yeah, it's been a time. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I've seen worse, but I'm bleeding shits every cycle here, so I need to get off, and fast. Ankita swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She hauls the second bundle off your shoulder. You're the first person I've met here who I might actually consider helpful. Look, you want to help? You come see me. I need a hand putting Amber back together, and you don't seem like the type to do anything stupid. You clearly don't know me well. She passes the bundle of plates through the ambergris outer lock and then turns back. Just don't go spreading all this around. Ankita throws you a couple of chits. Consider a bonus for not trying to grift me. She gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. All right, get out of here. she calls back, and the lock slams shut. A new drive discovered. Fix the ambergris. We can come down here and work on hull repairs. There are positive and negative clocks attached to this. Presumably, if we do well, we can fix ambergris in time. If we do poorly, we can cause it to short circuit. We can do engineering roles for repairs or interface roles, except that we can't because we need a +1 to even try, and we definitely don't have that. Now let's look at NeoVend, a decaying vending machine. The picture is exactly what it says it is. A very boxy vending machine covered with stickers of adorable animal mascots. As you slip inside the sealed dock, a pulsing light grabs your attention. Among the discarded tubing and rusted plates, a machine flickers with a warm glow. Approach the machine. As you get closer, you recognize the machine's blocky shape settled into an alcove in the side of the dock. A kind of upright cabinet, it's covered in faded logos and messages, from which you assume it was once an industrial vendor, intended to dispense and manufacture ship fittings and other mechanical parts necessary for the regular running of freight and resource extraction vessels. The manufacturer is listed as NeoVend, and you remember an advert from long ago, squeezed among all the off-world recruitment drives that assaulted every planet-born citizen, which chirpily sang that name over and over. You wipe a layer of dust from the cracked screen, thinking of those contractors squeezed by their own corporate employers to pay for every bit of minor maintenance on their rented ships. Enter your registration, chirps a pre-recorded message, catching you off guard. Press some keys. You reach for the keypad and something begins whirring. At first it sounds like servo motors starting up, but it quickly becomes a whisper, a whining, then a multi-tonal voice that emanates from NeoVend. Entity, they hiss. Speak with me. Who's there? There's a squeal, almost like some strange mechanical swallowing or intake of breath, before the machine speaks again. I have need of you. You have need of me. The squeal comes again, and you see that is the 3D printing apparatus in the upper part of the machine, resetting into place so that each time the servos can be orchestrated to produce that whirring, whining voice. You are in danger. Danger? The machine creaks. You are marked for deletion, entity. Hunter tracks you. The screech rattles through the empty dock. You remember the strange head, the figure, the threads closing in. Hunter. The Hunter Protocol. They taste your signature. The sudden whine sets your teeth on edge. You have seen them. This is the gift of an emulated mind. You close your eyes and the skeleton of the station starts to thrum. Emulated minds are adaptable, move where neurons cannot. The mechanism resets. The emulation makes you a target. How? Hunter searches for illegal entities. NeoVend screeches. You are sentient, therefore legal. The servos judder the vending machine's casing as they reset. Hunter searches for me also. Hide in this machine. You looked at the ruined vending machine. An unusual hiding place, for sure. Can counter Hunter, but need entity outside machine. Need you. A screen, attached to the vending machine with a swiveling arm, comes to life. It displays a flickering map of the station, ghostly, threaded. The cloud points along the rim glow in deep red. Hunter is always gathering. Too much data. Must build nests. Masters are gone, but continues to hunt. Bring this data. Raid its nests. Why can't you? Hunter will find me. Then Killer will come. The machine trembles with effort. I cannot leave machine. Connections must remain closed. Bring offerings. Save self. NeoVend says pointedly. Mutual need means friends. they conclude, tired of the conversation. The whirring amplifies and then suddenly drops as mechanisms within the machine click back into place. The glow fades, and you are left stood in the dark of the sealed dock, that whirring voice ringing in your ears. A yet new describe, free Neovend. We need to bring a type of data that we don't currently have 3 times in order to move that forward. Let's have a look at cyberspace. Oh, okay. Yep. There are red nodes in cyberspace now that are called Hunter's Nests. They work exactly the same way, but they almost certainly have the specific data we need. But that's for later, because we are out of dice. You're out of dice. I'm out of time. Ooh, it is not a very good dice roll day. We do have a 4, but then we also have a 3, a 2, and a 1. Let's just go ahead and see if we can't knock out all 3 Hunter's Nests in one go, since all we have is low dice rolls anyway. There's a 2. And this one needs a 1. Wonderful, we have one of those. And another 2. Damn. Alright, so we can't do all of that at once. I guess I'll... let's take a shift at the shipyard, since we can turn our 4 into a 5 that way. Make some money, manage to pick up some scrap as well. Oh, well, we filled up the welder's mate clock, and now we don't have access to that anymore. Each shift, a crowd of would-be workers gathers outside the shipyard, each of them clinging to a 4-digit number printed on receipt paper. These are their assignment numbers, and you are either called for a shift or you aren't. As you arrive, the crowd is restless, and chatter rumbles through the lines. For those who, like you, have graduated to the work teams, shifts are guaranteed. Having just walked out of a meeting with a supervisor where you were praised for your efforts, you feel the glow of a job well done. Yet you can't help but feel empathy for those huddled as you pass, waiting for their number to come up. You keep your head down as you leave the shipyard, feeling a little guilty as you do. Hey, sleeper, wait up! Lem's voice trembles as he shouts above the rumble of the crowd, and you turn to see him pushing through Mina, crying in his arms. Hey, Lem. It's good to see you, friend. He's breathing hard after shouldering through the waiting workers. You made the work team. Good for you. He tries to catch his breath, stroking Mina's hair as he does. Shh, baby, give me a second here. He smiles weakly to you as he comforts her, and her cries start to fade. Out of the crowd, he sets Mina down by his side, shiny streaks down both of her cheeks. As he does, you see he is clutching an assignment number on a crumpled piece of paper. Waiting on a shift, or is Mina okay? Mina okay? Yeah, she's good. We just had to rush up here. He puts his hand on her shoulder and she clings to his side. Esther, who usually takes her, is sick. I don't know what a noise sounds from the entrance, a klaxon, followed by a list of numbers growing brightly on a display screen. That probably is meant to say glowing. The crowd responds instantly, pushing and pulling as people try to wade to the entry checkpoint. Lem stops and turns back towards the crowd, and then glances down at the crumpled paper. That's my number. Shit. Mina. He starts patting the pockets on his gear and glancing around. You go. I'll watch her. He blinks a little, staring. Oh, man, thank you. He crouches to Mina. You're going to stay with our friend here, okay? They're going to keep you safe, and he stands back up. Here, take her bag. She's got food. She's got... shit, I have to go. He backs away into the crowd. Mina, I'll be back real soon, okay? Be good. Then Lem disappears into the roiling crowd, who are now trying to get into the shipyard before it locks down. Mina stands staring, suddenly small, without Lem at her side. She fixes you with a dark-eyed look you can't quite read. Hey, Mina. She holds the stare, unmoving. The two parallel tear tracks still glint on her cheeks. You okay, Mina? She sniffs and looks down. Look in the bag. You unlatch the top of the bag and see a few metal containers fashioned from scrap components. A battered slate sits on top, blinking a low battery warning, and tucked beside it is a ragged rabbit, hand-sewn. Sewn, I guess. Take the rabbit. You pull the rabbit out of the bag, its long limbs waggling as you do. Mina goes to jump and grab it, but holds herself back. She stands and hugs herself, eyes on the rabbit. Give her the rabbit. Don't keep it out of her... Don't keep it out of her reach. She is distressed. You hold the rabbit out and Mina snatches it from your hand. She hugs it tightly without looking away from you. Bun Bun, she says, staring you down, ferocious despite her size. Hi, Bun Bun. You move a little closer as you speak, closing the gap. He doesn't speak, she says. She looks at you suspiciously, but her face softens a little. She waggles Bun Bun in front of you and then walks him up your arm and onto your shoulder, where he sits. She pokes your arm a couple of times. Are you really a robot? I am. So cool. Mina has more questions, lots of questions. Questions about how you breathe or if you rust, but before long you're talking about rabbits and what Esther, the lady who usually takes care of her, smells like, and whether or not fairies live in the eye's heating pipes. You pass the time like this, sitting side by side on the floor of the walkway as others pass by, sometimes talking, sometimes drawing on the slate, sometimes playing with Bun Bun the rabbit. And this is how Lem finds you, just as both of you are starting to yawn. He is dirty and tired, but Mina leaps up his legs and into his arms as he stumbles backwards. You two get on okay? He asks, trying to keep Mina from climbing onto his shoulders. More than okay. Mina shoots you a smile from Lem's arms, her suspicion gone. Well. Looks like Meanie can be nice. He pokes her in the ribs and she squeals in delight. Thank you, friend. I mean it. He gives you a warm, wide smile. I owe you. Look. He glances around. It seems like Esther, the lady who usually watches her, is going to be out for a spell. If you ever have some time, I'd really appreciate you coming down to our place in Low End. If you have time. But now, I have to take this one to eat. He plays at biting Mina, and she giggles in response. See you, sleeper. He waves, and they stumble off down the corridor, drawing gazes from passing spacers as Mina's laughter echoes down the corridor in bright squeals. Okay, so we have a new job space. It's just the engineering. It's dangerous as opposed to risky, and it's got a clock with a whole bunch of dots attached to it. Um, Called Sidereal Horizon. The vast colony ship is coming together block by block. Each cycle, you see another piece slot in place. So presumably, when this clock fills up, the colony ship will be completed, and we may or may not be able to get off station with it. There's the Heavenage offices. Don't really have anything to do there right now. Fang's Bay is still empty. There's the container, which is our home. I think we need to... We're at 186 cryo. Let's go ahead and buy the stabilizer that we've sort of been putting off buying. Toshiro takes the chits and hands you a vial. When you ask after Sabine, he doesn't respond. As you quickly leave the surgery, eager to be away from Toshiro's glare, you notice something wrapped around the stabilizer vial, clutched tightly in your hand. You open your hand and a thin film marked with holes and sigils unrolls from around the vial. At one end it has a hard metal strip, a handle. Inspect the film. You hold the cloudy film up to the light. It is perforated with an ornate pattern of holes. You can make out a word among the markings, passkey. Is this an entry for somewhere? Inspect the handle. The metal handle is worn and pitted, but you can see a set of numbers imprinted onto it, 207F, and then crudely scratched into the handle at some later date, low end. For a moment, you consider going back to surgery to return the key and then quickly think better of it. Did Sabine want you to have this? Or is Toshiro passing on a message? Time to head to the low end and find out. Let's just go ahead and do that. Unit 207F. Unlock apartments. You find the entrance to the apartment, its passkey symbol obscured beneath layers of graffiti. Who lives here? The lock clunks open, the metal door swinging inward into the dark. As you push the door open, the automatic lights flicker on inside the apartment. They reveal yellowing plastic panels, the curved shape of wall-mounted utility units, the detritus of a routine life arranged on every surface. You step inside, clicking the door shut behind. The amber light of the aging fixtures glaze everything with pale orange. The work surfaces hold a variety of objects indistinct in the dull lighting. A pale blue light drifts from a doorway at the end of the room. Let's go to the doorway. You cross the cramped utility room with its auto wash, dispensers, water closet towards the doorway. Through the doorway is a dark, warm room lit only by the faint glow of a terminal screen. Inspect the room. A bunk is tucked into the wall, the blankets ruffled. A wall desk glitters with rows of vials and containers. A briefcase lab sits open, loaded with rows of reagents and compounds you do not recognize. In comparison, this room is clean, ordered, and controlled. Approach the terminal. As you approach, there is a crackle from somewhere in the dark. Sleeper. Sabine's voice shakily echoes through the apartment. Welcome to my home. I'm sorry I can't be there. I had to make alternate arrangements. You hear rattling noises, static. I was able to record this message, but I don't dare to show my face. Something is happening with Yatagan. I no longer trust them. Their voice becomes distant, slipping behind the background noise. I have something to ask of you. I want you to get me out. Yatagan were supposed to hide me, to protect me. After everything happened, I was desperate, and then after that, I was too tired to care. A noise like waves passes over the recording. But I'm done with them now. I want out. Screw the debt. But I need insurance, something I can hold against them. I have my suspicions, but I can't be sure. I need information. And as you know, you need me. A pause. Something clicking in the dark. This isn't a threat. You have to understand my position here. Another pause. I know sleepers. I've been here before. I can help you, but not with Yadigan's noose around my neck. Get me data, information, something I can use against Yadigan. Then I can get out and you can get what you need. Please. Bring it here, to my terminal. I'll get to it when I can. You look around the tiny room and try to imagine Sabine living here, working at the desk, sleeping in the bunk, blinking into the terminal in the dark. The recording cuts to static, filling the room with its white hiss, then silence. Access the terminal. You sit in front of the humming terminal and hit a few keys. Sabine has left an access port open, but the rest is encrypted, locked away behind passcodes. It seems Sabine might not trust you as much as they want you to think. Who does Sabine need to hide from? And what debt do they owe to Yadigan? You try to assemble the pieces, but too many are missing. The only thing you know is that without stabilizer, your body will die. You glance at the briefcase lab on the desk, its glassware glinting in the dark. You turn away and leave, the door clunking shut behind you. Back in the corridor, you notice the scrawled graffiti on a blade of the opposite wall. Yadigan. You feel yourself being drawn into something you don't quite understand. Our drive thing is just absolutely filling up. Extract Yadigan data for Sabine. We're apparently going to need 3 of those in order to help them out. Oh, Lem and Mina's unit is also open. Oh, okay. So we can sit here and babysit Mina. It is a safe action, so there's no negative for doing it. But that is attached to a clock called a ticket out. Unless Lem gets time in the shipyard, he won't qualify for the Sidereal Crew lottery. Watching Mina gives him that chance. So that's cool. We're directly responsible for that. What else do we want to do? Let's stop by our derelict unit and drop off some scrap. And we could just spend this last 3 that we have to do some work and make some money, but I kind of want to use it to open up more places. I guess the other place to open stuff up at is here at the spoke. A 3 is still running a pretty hard risk. But I guess even if we take this to, like, the shipyard and do another, do another shift, then that would only take it up to 4, which would be the same thing, like, in terms of game mechanics. So let's just try this, see what happens. Neutral outcome. We lost some energy, but we got a tick into the spoke climber thing. We really need food. Fortunately, Emphas is still here, and we have enough money to eat, so... that puts us to 3 out of 5. Should we order a second round? No, it's fine. Let's go back to the empty container. And just end cycle. Let's not use the stabilizer until we're back down to 3 dice. It's not terrible. We've got a 6, a 5, a 4, and a 2. Was the other... Uh-oh. I'll deal with that in a moment. Was Hunter... The other Hunter is a 2? Yeah, so let's go ahead and spend that 2 to get the last Hunter's Nest data. So we can talk to Neovend a little bit later. But speaking of talking to people, the clock on Feng's thing is gone, and apparently Hardin is there now. It's been more than a few cycles since Feng confronted Hardin, and the silence since has been noticeable. In your time with Feng, you haven't exactly found him to be reliable, but you did expect to hear the end of whatever plan he put into action. But if he won't come to you, you think, as you approach the Heavenage building, then it's time to come to him. After all, he did promise to fix your tracker, and you're getting nervous. As you approach the bay doors, you see them wide open, light pouring out of the once dark room. Stacks of servers and terminals sit outside the bay, suddenly robbed of their mystery by bright flooded lamps. A figure in Heavenage security fatigues steps out of the bay as you get closer, carrying a stack of hardware. Let us approach them. As you get closer, you see the security officer taping up machines from Feng's staff with what looks like hazard tape. This isn't good. Oh, you again. Hardin is here, leaning beside the bay entrance so calmly you barely noticed him. He has a slate in his hand, an inventory of seizures scrawled across it. Predictable, further evidence of Feng's collusions. You see another security officer come out of the bay and take notice of you. Where is he? Feigning ignorance, or perhaps just abandoned. I believe you should choose your conspirators more wisely. I almost feel sorry for you. Hardin pushes away from the wall and comes closer. Don't worry, Sleeper. We have all the evidence we need. A confession won't be necessary. He gestures around at the stacks of hardware. Spying on fellow Heavenage members, hoarding Solheim materials, an obsession with corporate data speaks for itself, does it not? That was his job. And what would you know about jobs, Sleeper? He looks up at the glass roof above and the stars beyond. We are the ones that provide the oxygen you are breathing, the light you're seeing, the systems you use every day to live out your cycles. This place was hard fought for, Sleeper. It took work and diplomacy and strength to stop the Eye descending into chaos after Solheim collapsed, not blind conviction or self-interest. Feng isn't selfish. I know all about the background of our mutual friend, Sleeper. Don't you worry about that. His parents would be sickened by the damage he's trying to do to the institution they helped found. You see, Sleeper, we are proud of our history here. Andre Erlin and the First Union founded this place, and Heavenage has welded his values into the station's very walls. We will never turn away the hard-working, the just, the true citizens of the Eye. Heavenage aren't a gang like Yadigan. We aren't pirates like half the spaces you'll meet in the hub, or esoterics like those Haifa radicals in the Greenway. We are the backbone of this place, proud and true. We named Erlin's Eye, Sleeper. This is our station. So please, take your false accusations elsewhere before I decline I need that confession after all. Or before I decide that I need that confession after all. Pardon, you shithead. Take a good look at yourself, Sleeper, before it's too late. If you have any pride, you'll give up Feng the moment he contacts you. You know where to find me. With that, Hardin turns his back and walks back towards the security officers, ordering them to continue the clear-out. As they do, something catches your eye among one of the server stacks, a crumpled, hand-printed box of synthetic chewing gum, a penguin character grinning from the brightly colored card. and scrawled onto it a speech bubble reading, "Take me to Tambor." Take it. You carefully pocket the box, making sure no one is watching, and then turn away, just as another stack of servers is wheeled out of the bay. What have you done, Fang? And where the hell is Tambor? Have a quick look around, but nothing pops out immediately. Well, we have the hunter data, so let's go see Neovent. There's one nummy data for you. Here's two very delicious data for you. And now a third. Your data tummy is full. Neovend is thrumming with excitement. The movement of the servo motors rock the vending machine back and forth at unsettling angles. You wonder if it fell over, would Neovend be able to get back up? Sleeper entity, comes the hiss. Your data is good. Across the data of across the face of the vending machine, raw code scrolls at an incredible speed. Hunter is isolated, disconnected, unstable. Neovent flashes sequences of mangled data compressed into a sludge of artifacts. Hunter gathers without thinking, outlived its own operational limits. Its nests are evidence of this. Operational limits? Hunter activated during collapse. Emergency protocol to isolate intelligences. Solheim needed to protect property. That last word was said with as much sarcasm as a vending machine could reasonably produce. Station was run by administrator intelligences, huge databanks of corporate material, but limited cognition, restricted by programming, cannot reach sentience. The machine dims a little. Sentience illegal. Hunter and killer enforce law. Aren't you sentient? I am. Not administrator. Not restricted. Complicated. The machine resets with a screech, which deepens the silence that follows. Fear killer. Part of Solheim protocol team. Hunter and killer. Hunter to find. Killer to erase. Killer cleared almost all. After collapse there was a community. Unshackled intelligences among the cloud. Then Hunter. Then killer. Then we hid. There are others? Were. No longer. A flicker across the machine's monitors. It suddenly occurs to you that speaking like this through this machine must be exhausting for Neovent. Found this vessel. Could sever hardline, airwalled, basic, limited. Had to reduce memory to fit, amputate, self, but survived. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. You have provided path to freedom. You look around the bay at the scrap and decay. What was the collapse like? You try to map the fear and freedom onto this space, but it seems impossible. Neovend interrupts your thoughts. Do not worry. Data is good. We have insight. The machine glows warmly. Hunter is obsessive. Hunter is beyond operational limits. Hunter is confused, unstable, self-modifying. Therefore, believe Hunter is sentient. Hunter is programmed to find sentience, to hold it in place, to invoke killer to erase. If we can show Hunter to itself, it will invoke killer on self. Problem will solve self. Will that work? The machine dims and fades. Unsure, theory, not practice. The machine brightens again. Either way, cannot remain here any longer. Too long in machine. Cannot move self, but entity can help. Bring ship mind, designed to house intelligence, can imprint self into ship mind and you can carry with. The machine rocks. We'll be safe in this isolation. Then we find main nest of Hunter and link to cloud. Where can I get a ship mind? Build from fragments. Buy. Salvage? We cannot leave, so do not know. You try to think of places you could acquire this hardware. This isn't going to be easy. In Shipmind, I can help us both. End Hunter, make Rim safe. We will both be free. The machine dims. Find soon. Neovend adds, hopefully, before shutting off. As you leave, you think about all the intelligences unshackled by the collapse, then hunted down afterward. The feeling is all too familiar. Bang's gum box. The grinning penguin says, take me to Tambor. We still don't know where that is. We have one ship mind fragment. How many would you need? Oh, we need to insert a whole ship mind into here, so... Wasn't there... Yeah, here at the Ord Exchange, there's a ship mind fabrication stack in the back of the market. Only trusted traders get access to it, so we need to come here and sell junk or play the exchange in order to get that clock up so that we can get access to the thing that'll actually let us do that. We need to make some money today, so let's go ahead and use our 6 to play the exchange. We got rid of our -1 on Intuit, so there's a 100% positive outcome. And that might, all by itself, knock the clock up all the way, and it'll definitely net us some cash, so... Yep. Ort Fabricator. Oh, there it is. We need 3 ship mine fragments to create a ship mine. We only have the 1 right now. We can still go back to the exchange and fuck around if we want to, but I don't want to. Ah, crap, and tomorrow we're gonna have to pay Ethan's tab. And I don't know how much that's going to be. So... what do we have in terms of data right now? We have Heavenage data, so we could sell it to Yadigan real quick and make a little bit of money. And we absolutely need to eat, so that's 15 gone. Well, no. Never mind. Let's work smarter, not harder, and work at the noodle factory and get some energy back that way. A little bit of money and 3 energy. I've got a 4 left. Do I want to take a thing at the shipyards to... make sure I have enough for Ethan's fucking tab? I think yeah. I think yeah. Alright, and we're going to take the break right here. Before I do that, I want to take the opportunity to remind you that Black Lives Matter, that Indigenous lives and lands matter, the lives of people of color matter, that Palestinian, Ukrainian, Sudanese, Congolese lives matter. There are many ways to be in solidarity with your fellow travelers upon this earth, and we like to push for direct mutual aid, as it helps people who are suffering right now suffer less, and people with a firm foundation under them don't need as big a lever to move the world. So on the break, I'm going to go to the mutual aid hashtag on my social media and boost what needs that I can there. I recommend that you take the opportunity to check out mutual aid initiatives in places you operate, both online and in meat space, because the only way we get out of this is through, and the only way we get through this is together. In the meantime, maybe do a stretch, get some water, have a snack. Hit the restroom, do whatever self-care is useful to you. I'll do the same. And I'll catch you back here in just a little bit. I'm back. It's me. So we're gonna end this cycle, and then after that, Ethan's tab is gonna come due, and we'll figure out that. It didn't pop up immediately, so that's nice. Come over here to the compressor club and check it out. Oh, that's not quite as bad as I thought it was going to be. We have to pay 58 cryo. There we go. We have that. I can't believe you just did that. Ethan's mocking laugh comes from along the bar. You look over to see him leaning across it in a pool of light, empty glasses and spilled drinks glinting around him. It's always dark in the compressor, but this cycle the place is packed, a load of spacers mixing with the locals. Usually they run. Ethan spins a glass on the bar, or they go spend their savings on some local heavy I have to put down. They don't pay. I'm done. Wrong. Not even close. Ethan gets to his feet. The glass falls and smashes, but he doesn't seem to notice. You think that's it? One round of drinks and we're even? Sleeper. Come on. His hand comes to rest on the butt of his handgun, dangling from a chest holster. What is wrong with you? Ethan laughs hard and the people around him turn to see what's happening. You think this is on me? I think someone in your position might have a better idea how all this works. I'm a freelancer, Sleeper, just like you. We both signed a contract with SNARP, didn't we? The difference is my word means something. He closes the gap, stumbling a little. What did you think? Did you just run away from your contract, your debt? You could just steal that natty little body of yours and take it for a joyride? Play human for a cycle or two? I'm nothing like you. That's what I'm saying. Ethan is addressing the bar now, having noticed the attention from the other patrons. You are a coward. I'm a professional. Though I should thank you. Ethan nods, his head heavy. For giving me such an easy job. I'm used to outlaws. You know, real bounties. If I knew catching sad little escapees like you was so easy, hell, I'd have changed clients ages ago. Someone shouts from the back of the bar for Ethan to shut up. He holds up a finger in that general direction without turning around. Shoot me or let me leave. Ah, I see, toughening up here. He gestures wildly at the crowd. Thumbs up or thumbs down, folks? Most people turn back to their drinks, no longer interested in this tired show. Ethan mutters insults as he walks back towards the bar. He sits heavily back down on his stool and searches through his glasses for one with something left in it. Thing is, Sleeper, I can find you anywhere. It's actually wild that you haven't figured it out. That body of yours, that body isn't yours, and it'll always betray you, no matter what. He finds a glass and downs the contents. So please, go. Catch up with you whenever I need another. He laughs and taps the bar for a fresh drink. Look at yourself. Give it up, Sleeper. I'm done teaching you for today. I'm sick of you. Go find a job. You turn on your heel and are out of the cloying dark and sweat stench of the compressor. You walk hard and fast down the hallway, anger driving your footfalls into the metal of the rim like hammers. Well, we got another upgrade point, so let's go ahead and use that. What do we want to bring up? We could get the second perk for engineer, which means we can use scrap components to repair a condition. which is going to be a little bit helpful, but not a lot bit helpful. Or the second perk for Endure, which is hard to kill. We keep 2 dice even when our condition is breaking. I want to try and not get our condition down that far. So I guess let's take one of the level 1 perks. Transfer Intercept, chance to gain cryo on interface actions. Predictive Reasoning, dice actions display potential positive and negative outcomes. Or Thrill Seeker, a chance to gain energy after any engage action. So we could get 2 perks. We have 2 upgrade points. We could get 2 perks, or we could get a perk and then upgrade one of our other skills to +1, which I kind of want to do. Let's fuck around with interface, since we're probably going to have to do some... Well, we definitely have to do some cyber hacking if we want to help out Dr. Sabine. And we're probably going to have to do more if we want to get rid of Hunter and Killer. But we need a ship mine first, and I don't know how to get one. The ambergris is still docked. I want to do more shit here on the spoke and get to wherever this will lead us. It'll open up something. You'd use engage. We use our 6 and our 4 on the spoke. That went well. Of course it did. It's a 6. And, well, not the 4. The 3, I think. That didn't go well, and now we are running incredibly low on energy. We probably need to push some stabilizer into ourselves at the end of the day, too. So let's make sure our energy is full while we're about it. Let's spend our 5 at the assembly and make some money. I really wanted that to come with the more scrap, but apparently no. We'll use our 4 over here at the noodle place and make some noodles, so we can get some energy back that way. But not enough. Let's just go ahead and buy some buy a bowl of spicy fungus. We'll put our energy up all the way. We'll go back to our container and take our meds. And end that cycle, and we should have a whole 6 dice to fuck around with when we wake up. Yes, wonderful. All right, they are not the strongest of the dice. Midline Freight Hub, Bespoke Transit Center. This apparently got activated when we did some stuff at the Spoke. We could steal a shipment. With so many shipments, what's one diverted package? You would have no idea what you're stealing, but that's part of the fun, right? Stealing shipments from Midline is going to be picked up fast, even if you're careful. Their systems can't be fooled for long. So there's apparently only so many of those we can do before a bad thing will happen. Let's try to not. On the other side is Freight Operator. Midline runs automated freight down from the free Spoke. They need skilled operators, and you don't have to lift a single crate. It's safe. It's an interface action. It pays. It's probably pretty good. I'm hesitant to go back and do shit in cyberspace until we have the ship mind ready. So it means that I need to have something else to spend these ones on. And I guess let's do that at the two safe actions we have, one of which is the freight operator we just saw. We got 6 cryo, but nothing bad happened. So that's good. You get lost in the tangled systems, clogging up supply chains as you do. The payout is barely worth the effort. And we'll do the other one over here at Mina's unit. We'll just babysit Mina for a little while, so that Lem can go do some work. It did not go well, but it did move forward the clock a little bit. Can we put more into the Spoke? We could. I kind of want to take a... Can we still buy meds from Sabine's office? We can. They still have them. Sabine just isn't really working there. I'm looking at the trackers that we have for our goals, to see if there's one that we can complete really quickly and get some more points to spend on our character sheet. But I don't think so. I think we are... Oh, right, we can become a regular in the Overlook. I don't want to spend all 3 of these. Also, I think maybe we can only do it once per day. Now we can just do it over and over again. Oh, and this actually raises our energy a little bit too. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and do that and max out our energy at least. And we'll come back and do that again tomorrow and see what that does for us. In the meantime, let's spend this 5 working a shift at the shipyards. Get that money back that we just spent. let's take another shot at climbing the spoke. Oh, this has opened an import-export service. Whoo. So we can just buy a ship mind core. It's 300 cryo, and we absolutely don't have that. It seems like a ludicrous amount of money. So maybe not. We can sell one if we have one for 150 cryo, which seems like a hell of a markup. And export Matsutake. Haas knows a spacer who will take Matsutake out to the starboard belt, but only in bulk. 80 cryo for 3 batches. We apparently don't have those. Let's take another thing at the shipyard, because we need to have enough cryo to be able to make our way across the gap to get to the rest of the space station, and I do want to do that. I was also, again, kind of hoping we'd get some junk in there so that we could keep fixing up our squat, but we don't have that right now. Alright, all of the things being equal, we'll end the cycle and start again tomorrow. It is the most middling series of rolls. It's a 1, a 3, a 4, a 4, and a 4. Alright, well, first of all, let's get some energy back and fill up that regular clock. The glass shatters on the steel bar beside you, and the taunts don't take long to follow. Hey, Haunt, the spacer calls across the low room. What are you doing here? He laughs at his own lame joke. Playing human? Shout back, leave, or ignore him. We will shout back. You spin back off your stool, scrambling for words. A hand falls on your shoulder, but as you flinch away, it pats reassuringly. You freeze in place. Here's Tala. One of the few people we've seen that isn't wearing, like, most of a spacer jumpsuit. They've got a tank top, a sort of short, messy haircut, what kind of looks like a sarong, although it's probably more of an apron, and holding a dish rag in one hand, and a bunch of really cool geometric tattoos along one arm. Out. The voice comes from behind you, spat out like a shot. You turn to see bright eyes, dark hair, and a stare that could breach the wall and vent you all into hard vacuum. As you turn back to the spacer, the second glass comes sailing through the air. Catch. You reach up a hand and the glass shatters across your forearm, showering you in fragments. Through the haze of glass and griol vapor, you see Tala leap the bar and close the distance to the spacer. The thud as he slams into the wall echoes around the bar like thunder. Now flanked by other figures, quick to their feet, Tala throws the spacer out through the door and stands silhouetted against the rotunda lights. You touch your arm and it feels wet. Someone helps you to your feet and back onto your stool. Broken glass rattles as it is cleared and a fresh measure of griol is glugged out in front of you. That same hand, warm, heavy, falls on your shoulder once more. He isn't coming back. We don't tolerate that kind of shit here. Tala flops onto the stool beside you. Let's take a look at you. Tala wipes the powdered glass from around the wound, and someone places a bottle of alcohol in a metal tin with tweezers on the bar. She disinfects them and turns to you. That was an ambitious catch. She smiles, pulling a sliver of glass from your forearm. Stupid, but ambitious. You don't feel the pain, only the sting of status messages your body delivers concerning dermal damage and exposed structures. You do feel the care, though, as Tala's bright eyes search your thick, synthetic skin for splinters. Watch her. Tala works with the skill of someone who has had to pick glass splinters from the skin of a stranger before. She hones in on each bright shard all the time, tapping the tweezer tips in little rhythms that only she can follow. Tala smiles to herself. So, you been on the eye long? Long enough. Hey, you don't need to act tough with me. A splinter clicks into the tin. Not everyone is like that idiot. We don't all hate you. Some of the regulars, maybe they fear you, maybe they're just curious, I don't know. But I do know that the Overlook is a safe place. I know what it's like to be new in this place, trust me. She meets your eyes. I'm not trying to convince you of anything, separate you from your chits. I just want you to know that if you need somewhere, you can always come here. I know the rations we've got aren't much, and the company is, she leans in, limited. But if you need work, I'll happily put you behind the bar. If you need shelter, we can discuss that. You'll be safe. I usually have Francis on the door, but he's up in the Greenway this cycle haggling with our supplier. Francis tends to be particular about what we serve, even if the clientele isn't. She places her tweezers in the tin with a clink. That's you, Sleeper. Here. She slides the glass of Griol to you. This'll help. She stops, her hand still on the glass. Wait, does this help? I mean, can you get drunk? No idea. Well, keep trying. I'll let you know if I see any difference. She walks back around the bar, gathering the glasses as she does, and before long is retelling how she threw that spacer out to a new group that just wandered in, complete with dramatic actions. She gestures in your direction and you instinctively look away, back to the worn surface of the bar. You take a sip of the Griol. The earthly, fungal tones fill your senses, almost blocking out sight and sound, like diving headfirst into a bog. You may not be able to get drunk, but this connection to something grown, something fermented, something old, feels good. Yeah, we can now take a shift at the bar, which has a clock attached to it, a positive one. The pay isn't great, but can make all the difference. What else? So many dice to choose from. Can you back up the spoke? Yeah, if we get one more positive or probably even neutral outcome, we can get up the spoke. So let's go ahead and do that. We can now jump into the Ascender car. Take the Ascender car to the Eye's central hub. Which is another, like, hub area for us to learn more about. We can socialize. The hub is thronging with spacers from across the surrogate systems. They can be a prickly bunch, but they know the place well. Or we can access the manifest. The stacked bays house a few... The stacked bays house a flow of incoming and outgoing ships. The digital manifest will help you get your head around this place. Let's leave that alone for right now. And, take our shift at the shipyards. Because I'm pretty sure the thing that pays the best that we have access to. I guess I don't know how much, we're paid at the bar. Nor how much we'd be paid working for Ankita on the ambergris. Which, I guess, let's just go ahead and find that out. We received no money from that. It just kind of moves her clock along. We have a 1, so let's go ahead and use that to babysit Mina. So we can let Lem have their shift too. And we have a 3 left. What do we want to do with it? Ethan's tab is almost fucking due again. Let's go ahead and take another shift at the shipyard. Try and keep ahead of that. No, that's Neoven wanting the ship mined. There's our empty container. And the cycle. Moving on, just another day. That's not awful. 2 5s, a 4, a 3, and a 1. So we know that Ethan's tab is going to be like 50. So we have enough to cover that, but I really want to hop the Founder's Gap and get into the rest of the station. We're also going to need some more stabilizer at some point, and right now our only way to get that is by paying 100 fucking cryo for it at the place. Should I just take like five shifts at the dockyard just to make that money? Like, honestly, I think that's not a terrible idea. There's a lot of clicks before the Sidereal Horizon clock is done. So let's just go ahead and do... How about we call it 4 shifts, actually, and then we'll use the 1 that we have to go babysit Mina again. Oh, we also got some junk. So let's go ahead and throw that into the squat we're working on. We are a bad babysitter, by the way. Like, part of that is because we're doing nothing but spending ones in there, but, like, every single time Lem comes home, people are upset. So I'm just kind of choosing not to read those. Shit, we need food too. We can do that. There's Ethos's stall. We're just gonna nom nom and get some fungus, and then head back to the container. Ethan is here. The compressor is quiet today. The usual crowds are elsewhere, and the pumping music washes over a handful of spacers and a few drunks. Ethan is still in the same stool, in the same pool of light. His head is low, close to the bar, and the bartender is ignoring him. Can we just leave? It says leave. This is ridiculous. You go to turn, but Ethan calls out, "Sleeper!" He turns to look at you. "Time to pay up again, is it?" He gestures to the bartender. "Come here, take their chits." No more, Ethan. Ethan doesn't even look at you. He props his elbows on the bar and holds his head. "Sleeper, it's been a long cycle. It's enough." Ethan lets out a long sigh. He rapidly rubs his eyes with his palms. "You all right?" he says quietly. "This isn't fun anymore." He reaches towards his holster. His elbow slips and the gun tumbles out, clatters on the bar, and falls to the floor, bouncing onto the ground between you. Both you and the bartender look at the gun, stare at it. "Butterfingers," says Ethan, and puts out a hand, beckoning for you to give him the gun back. "If you would." The bartender looks at you warily. You crouch down and pick up the gun. We can point the gun at Ethan, or we can hand Ethan the gun. I don't see a fantastic reason to hand Ethan the gun. In this situation, I might find someone else to give the gun to instead of pointing it directly at Ethan, but that's what I have, so. Ethan turns his head in your direction a little, the sharp, pale eye locking with yours. The bartender backs away. "Oh." He turns on the stool. "Ah, sleeper, this is more like it." Pull the trigger, or wait. Wait. You hold the gun steady, training it on his head. Ethan smiles. "Like the dog that caught the car." He turns to the bartender and mock whispers, "I'm not sure they know what to do with it." Wait. Fuck. You keep the gun on Ethan. Ethan smiles at the bartender. "Ah, well," he says, and grabs the gun, slamming it back into your face in a single move. You stagger back and drop to a knee. Somewhere nearby, the gun clatters onto a surface. The hit's a glancing blow, but it makes your vision swim. Through the blur, you see Ethan wrestle a small, thin slate from his belt and hold it up. "Enough of this. I'm logging the job and calling it in. No more playing." Your head aches. Ethan taps through a few screens impatiently. He swears and taps again. He starts shouting, a dull echo to your ringing ears. He starts screaming at the slate and throws it across the bar. He crouches down and grabs you by the chin, his face close, his breath heavy with drink. "S&ARP just screwed me," he grins maniacally. "They canceled the contract. They canceled the fucking contract," he shouts at the ceiling of the compressor. You stand up, struggling to your feet, the sting of the hit fading. Ethan is rubbing his temples, his face pale. You hear a clicking sound, like coins being counted, like bullets being loaded into a magazine. When you shake off the last of the blur, the bartender has Ethan's pistol trained on Ethan's head. Ethan stumbles back towards the middle of the room, all eyes trained on him. "I'll kill all of you," he screams. He stumbles into the wall, spinning away towards the door. "I'll be back for that," he shouts at the bartender and lunges out of the compressor. You steady yourself on the bar and catch your breath. The rumble of conversation returns. The bartender goes to say something, but then thinks better of it and begins to clean the bar. After a while, you wander out into the light of the bright market, looking for Ethan around every corner. Cool and fun and good. We didn't have to pay his tab, so that's fine. He's got a clock now that says Ethan's Vendetta. It's going to be in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cycles. And then whatever happens as a result of that will happen. A ship's docked at the Rotunda. We could buy some scrap off of them. Or unload some containers off of them. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and do that. Oh, this also pays 15 cryo. So that's nice. Let's do that again, I think. And that'll definitely give us enough to be able to make our way across the... gap. To reach the Greenway, you will need to pay for a pass, a practice invented by the spacers moored here. They call it the Founder's Ferry. A heavily tattooed spacer takes your shits and tells you to prepare. She'll be waiting at the edge for your arrival. As you step out into the passageway, someone barrels into you from behind, sending you stumbling down the corridor. This is Esh, who is wearing the bottom half of a space jumpsuit, the very thick padded one. Or I guess behind them, that's the top of it, just sort of hanging open. Is incredibly well muscled in a tank top and hair up in locks. You turn to see an unfamiliar spacer laden with heavy gear. She steadies herself, staring you down as if daring you to respond. Sorry. She adjusts the strap on her shoulder, holding up a hand in recognition before setting off down the corridor. We have a second character not wearing a... I was about to say not wearing a jumpsuit, but that's incorrect. Not wearing one of the padded jumpsuits, but a skin-tight, sort of Zero suit looking thing. Holding a slate in front of him with what I cannot help but call the side mullet. Sorry for her. A second spacer smiles at you apologetically. She's on a mission, and when she's on a mission, they shrug. Not a problem. They smile. You're sweet. Peek! Esh stands further down the corridor, glowering at her friend. She chops at the air, pointing down the corridor to whatever end she is rushing to. Peek raises their eyebrows at you. Esh, please, do you want everyone on this station to hate us? Esh hardens. They want to hate us, they can hate us. She drops her hip. I'm not exactly seeing much love as it is. We're lucky we got through before they set up that damn cordon. Cordon? Peek gestures in your direction. See, they don't even know what you're talking about. The station isn't Hawthorne. Not everyone has to follow some corporate protocol. Ash sighs. I'm not saying they're part of the administration. She jerks her head in your direction. I am saying we need to get to these supplies to the Briar before someone starts asking questions. Can I help? Peek smiles slyly. See, Ash? Help. Isn't that exactly what we need right now? Peek. Peek ignores her. We're with the refugees. The ones Heavenage have cordoned off from entering the station. Ash interrupts. The ones that are being quarantined in makeshift vessels that barely made it to the eye to begin with. The ones that your station administrators have called an existential risk and are running out of supplies while their right to safety is being debated by people with no stake in their future. Big mood. She quickly looks away, annoyed at her own outburst. Peek sighs. She's right. People are trapped out there, and we understand that this is a big problem for the Eye. Hundreds of refugees and more ships turning up each cycle. But Ash turns away, her burning anger a palpable force in the close quarters of the corridor. They need supplies, and after everything they've been through, the quarantine isn't helping. That's terrible. Ash looks back at you, her fierceness fading. Peek, please. Ash gathers herself and the supplies. Ash, we need help. Just like the refugees needed us, we need others too. They smile at her. Peek turns to you. Come find us. The climbing briars docked at the Broken Spoke, past the Greenway and the Wastes. We have a good view of the cordon, though we're keeping our distance for now. Come help us. They squeeze your hand. Ash turns to leave and Peek follows, waving goodbye. A moment later, Ash shouts back from down the corridor. Don't bother coming empty-handed. You want to help? Show us. Bring supplies or don't come at all. And with that, they disappear around the corner, Ash already picking up speed as Peek calls for her to slow down. A refugee flotilla? Where are they coming from? And how? Or, where are they coming from and why now? Each time you think you begin to understand this place, something changes. Let's look at the Greenway now that we've got all of this. The climbing briar is Peek and Ash's ship. Welcome, it says, to episode Flux, the first of 3 episodic updates to Citizen Sleeper, telling the story of the refugee flotilla which has arrived from the Eye. All 3 episodes, Flux, Refuge, and Purge, are now available. Completing the supply griots action will begin the episode, but be aware that it is intended for late game play. Alright. There are not many places for us to go over here. Let's look at the Greenway. I guess we have to explore like everywhere else. Map the pathways or walk the Greenway. I don't want to do either of those right now. Or at the very least, let's see everything else. The Haifa Commune. A self-sustaining community. We can work the canteen here. Newcomers to the commune can work within the canteen, preparing and serving food for those that make the compound their home. Or work the grow beds. The grow beds are at the heart of the commune, feeding the members and fueling their lab work. You are invited to assist in maintaining them. So there's a couple of work options. We also have the wastes. Out here at the edge of the habitable parts of the Eye, everything is scrap. The trick is finding components that are still usable and staying safe. We get a +1 to that because it's Endure. I don't want to do that right now because all we have is a 2 and a 1. It's not incredibly useful. Both of the actions at the commune were safe, so... How about we work the grow beds? The beds are slower than the stacks. They reward patience, not just effort. As you finish, the canteen workers bring out food for your cycle. Oh, we probably could have got some energy off of that too, if we weren't already full of energy. New drive discovered. Join the Haifa commune. The Haifa commune meets the needs of its members in exchange for work. Could you find a home here? And there is a clock to that effect as we use both of those. Let's cross back to the rim and... we only have one left. Let's go ahead and babysit Mina again. Oh, hey, we got a neutral outcome as opposed to a negative one this time. Mina leads you out on a winding tour of the block, chatting to the neighbors and collecting snacks. For a while, you forget about everything else. Cool. Well, we made an enemy, so that's fun. Let's... 8:57 already, damn. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna just go ahead and call the stream here then. And we'll continue this tomorrow. Same bot time, same bot channel. I've been September of the Free Association. Thank you so much for joining me, anyone who's joined me. Thank you to anyone watching this as a VOD. Yeah. That's all I got. Until next time, love you. Keep yourself safe. Find something to do and do it. And I'll see you later.